Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Y'all already know what time it is. It's your boy DTown, a.k.a. Hip Hop and Anime Vibes, a.k.a. Living My Life Like It's Golden Frieza, a.k.a. Goody Mob Psycho 100, a.k.a. Meliodas Redding, a.k.a. My Negro Black and Flamin' Ya, a.k.a. Kotski Baku Glow, a.k.a. Tuxedo Flask, a.k.a. Sailor Goon, and you are now rocking with the Hip Hop and Anime Vibes podcast. What's poppin'? What's good? How's your week been, man? I'm back at you guys again with another podcast this week. This is going to be an anime-driven episode. You know, I appreciate you guys rocking with me. Last week, we got a little bit heavy on the Nipsey Hussle topic. So we're going to pivot and we're going to go into anime. And I think that's the format that I'm going to use moving forward. I'm going to go hip-hop, anime, week over week over week. Just to make sure we're creating a nice balance. So with this week's episode, I'm going to try and keep it short, sweet, and hard to beat as always. We're going to have one topic and one topic only, and that is going to be seasonal anime. What I may or may not be watching for spring of 2019. So I have a list here that I've compiled based on me going through different resources online to determine what are the most anticipated animes of spring of 2019. Now, this is a list that I've compiled with shows that I may be watching. I'm kind of on the fence about, but I've used several different resources. I've combed through them, and I've picked up a couple things that look to be pretty appealing to me. Again, I urge you guys to get out there and watch what it is that you want to watch. By no means is this a concrete list stating, hey, you must watch these. But I would like to inform you guys of some stuff that's out there that looks pretty dope. So, ground rules, right? I'm not going to be bringing any movies into this, all right? I'm not going to be talking about any movies that are being released in spring of 2019. And I'm also not going to be talking about series that started in the winter and are still continuing into spring of 2019. So what does that mean? I'll only be talking about animes that are returning in spring of 2019 or just now starting in spring of 2019. All right? Now that we're level set on the same page, same book, same chapter, let's get into some tings. All right, so the first joint that we're going to cover here is going to be Fairy Gone. Now, this joint takes place in a world where fairies dwell and possess animals and give them mysterious abilities. Now, by removing the organs of the possessed animals and transplanting them into humans, fairies can be summoned as an alter ego and also used as a weapon. Now, those people who used fairies as weapons were known as fairy soldiers. Once the war was over, a lot of the soldiers lost their purpose. So the fairy soldiers some of them went on to work for the government, some of them went on to become terrorists, some of them went on to join the mafia, but they're all trying to find their own purpose in life at this point. So 9 years after the war, the main character, Mariah, joins an organization called Dorothea, which suppresses fairy-related crimes. Think of them as kind of like the fairy police. Amidst the unstable political situation, criminals linger with war wounds from the past, and conflicts emerge and they engage in terrorism as acts of revenge. That's pretty much the story of Fairy Gone. Soldiers fighting for their own justice in a post-war world. Now, to me, this seems dope. It's, what I like about this is it's an anime that takes place after a war, and I really love military-based war anime. Like, if it's in that genre, I fucks with it heavy. So with this one, I haven't necessarily seen too much buzz about it online, but I'm going to give it the good old 1, 2, 3 treatment. What does that mean? I'm going to be really critical of those first 3 episodes. The first episode, I'm going to ask myself at the end of this thing, hey, was this dope? What did I like about it? Do I want to continue watching this? Then I'll give it another 2 episodes. Then once I get to that 3rd episode, that's when I'm going to just say, hey, is this shit dope as hell or am I just going to abandon it? So we're going to give it the good old 1, 2, 3, ding, ding, ding. That is actually airing now. So once I'm done rocking with you guys, it said it started April 8th. I was really anticipating One Punch Man, so this one kind of went under my radar. But I'm going to give this one a shot, and maybe I'll jump back on here in the next couple weeks and talk about where I'm at in the season as far as like animes go and what it is that I'm feeling, what it is that I'm not feeling. But either way, Fairy Gone sounds dope. I like the concept. We're going to get into that, and we're going to keep it moving. Next up on my spring 2019 anticipated anime list is, that's right, you guessed it, Fruits Basket. Now, some of you already may know Fruits Basket, especially if you guys have been hardcore anime fans. Whether you've watched it or you've been an anime fan for a long time, this is a series that you should have heard of, I want to say in the early to mid 2000s. Well, just to give you a quick synopsis of the story. So after a family tragedy turns her life upside down, 16-year-old Tomoro Honda, I believe I'm saying that right. Please forgive me if I'm butchering the name. But she decides to take matters into her own hands and move out. But she decides to move out into a motherfucking tent. Unfortunately, she pitches her tent, that's funny. Pause. Unfortunately, Futanari. Unfortunately, she pitches her tent on private property, which belongs to the mysterious Soma clan. So she's hiding on the family's land in secret, and it's only a matter of time before they find out that secret. However, they extend their gratitude and offer her to live with them for a short time or until things get better, but then she discovers that they have a secret of their own. That's right, whenever they get hugged by the member of an opposite sex, they turn into animals of the Chinese zodiac. I'm not even gonna hold y'all, I'm not even gonna front, I'm not even gonna cap. I don't remember shit about this joint. Like, when I watched this joint, and this is a personal story, me and my ex-girlfriend watched it together, me and my girlfriend at the time. I remember she was really into it, but I really was not paying attention to it. Now, I know it only got what I believe to be one season, and I believe it didn't finish where the manga finished. But I need to go back through and rewatch this again, because clearly I was not paying attention to the anime at all. I remember like 3 or 4 episodes. I do remember niggas getting hugged and turning into like wild roosters and shit like that, but and foxes and shit. But I'm looking forward to this 2019 remake. I think it's about time. And one of the things that I really love seeing is some of the classic animes getting rebooted and brought back in 2019. Especially with an influx of anime coming out, right? There's so much stuff coming out each and every season that it's hard to determine what to watch and what not to watch. Because for every one title that's good, it seems like we have 20 titles that are incredibly bad, and 10 of those are isekai titles. So I'm really excited about this one. I'm going to give it a shot. And again, I'll give it the good old 1, 2, 3 treatment. But I get the feeling that with it being a cult classic and me vaguely remember watching it, I get the feeling that I'm going to stick through this one till the end. Up next on my anime list of anticipated anime for spring of 2019, it is the one and only Attack on Titan Season 3, Part 2. Now, whether you're a brand spanking new anime fan who just got introduced through Toonami, or you've been a hardcore long-term fan that has been watching anime since the 80s or the sci-fi Saturday anime block, you guys know what time it is for Attack on Titan. I don't feel the need to go into the synopsis. The synopsis is in the title. My nigga, literally. It be Titans, and they be attacking. That's really it. That's the plot. I know they halted production on it last year because of some production conflicts, some scheduling conflicts from what I read, that didn't allow them to conclude season 3 last year. So they only got like 12 episodes in. They had 10 episodes left, and then they just halted production. People were really in their feelings about it. So it's good to see it come back. I'm excited for it. I was low-key one of those people that was in my feelings about it, because even though it should be Titans attacking, they staged, spoiler alert, what seems to be like a coup to throw some new people into power within the hierarchy. The first part of season 3 reminded me of season 2 of The Wire, where they went to the docks and it was really all boring. They took them from the familiar setting that they were in, which was, I believe, in Boston, doing undercover work and monitoring drug dealers and all of that shit. And they put them on like the docks and back in offices, and it felt really displaced, and it was a long, drawn-out process for that series. But what it was doing was it was setting up the story. And I feel like that's what they're doing with Attack on Titan Season 3, at least the first half of it. There's some really epic shit that's about to pop off in the anime, but in order for them to get to that point in the story, they have to build and develop the world just a little bit more, develop the characters a little bit more, and flesh out who they are as people a little bit more. So the stakes are a little bit higher when the Titans start attacking, and we start to see all of these new elements that they're going to introduce to the season and future seasons from this point on. So long story made less long. I'm all bought in. I'm a huge Attack on Titan fan. You already know your boy is going to be watching. There's 10 episodes slated for this season, and I believe that it starts on April 29th. So I don't know if I'll be doing live tweeting or anything like that, but you definitely can believe that we will have the discussions in the Hip Hop and Anime Vibes Facebook group. All right. Up next on my list is none other than Carol and Tuesday. Now, some of you may have heard about this and seen the buzz online. I'm going to give you guys a quick synopsis and then give you guys my opinion. 50 years have passed since mankind began migrating to the new frontier, Mars. It's an age where most cultures are produced by AI and people are content to be passive consumers. There's a girl scraping by to make a living in the metropolis of Alba City. She's working part-time while trying to become a musician. She's always felt like something's missing, and her name is Carol. And then there's another girl, born to a wealthy family in the provincial town of Herschel City. She dreams of becoming a musician, but nobody around her understands. She feels like the loneliest person in the world. Her name is Tuesday. A chance meeting brings them together. They want to sing. They want to make music. Together, they feel like they just might have a chance. The two of them may only create a tiny wave, but that wave will eventually grow into something larger. Now, this joint right here, normally I really kind of don't like the slice of life anime type shit, right? But this one hits me in a special place because as a musician, just off of the synopsis alone and what I've seen from some of the previews, I can relate to the struggles that both of them have, trying to make a wave in the music industry, wanting to become a professional musician, and to have your family take you seriously in your dreams and in your pursuit of your goal and of your dream. And also, it seems like what they're talking about now, like how culture is pretty much created by AI, like that low key feels like what we're living in today. I could go deeper into that, but that's a deeper conversation. But I feel like a lot of the music that comes out now isn't created by an algorithm, but is algorithm based. I don't want to go into that. I don't want to open up that can of worms. So let me jump back in. Let's refocus. All right. This looks like it's going to be dope. I believe it's been the director of Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, and I also believe Michiko and Hachin, which is all the same person, has looked over this particular anime, and I feel like I'm overlooking one thing. One of the leading characters is a person of color. What their ethnicity and their origin is, I'm not 100% sure. After all, the entire human population moved to Mars, so I don't know what you would call that. African-American Martian. I don't know what you would call that. African Martian, Black Martian, Martians of color. I don't know what you would call it. But I'm looking forward to exploring that and seeing how their world builds. And if they make it to the top, you know what I mean? Like, that to me is going to be really dope. I'm going to give it the good old 1, 2, 3 treatment, but based off of my connection with the story thus far, this is what I feel like I'm going to have to see through all the way to the end. Up next, Isekai Quartet. My God, I have to talk about this thing because everyone's talking about this thing. Heads up, I don't believe I'm going to be watching this thing. What the fuck is Isekai Quartet? Well, I am so glad you asked. It's an isekai anime. Duh. One day, a magic button suddenly appears. The protagonists in Konosuba, Overlord, ReZero, and the saga of Tanya the Evil all press the button and move to a parallel world. Didn't see that one coming. Another brand new isekai. And a new story begins featuring a brand new high school life. Fam, listen. Enough is a motherfucking enough. All right? I refuse to have my time disrespected in this way. Isekai anime, I get it. It's a money grab. Isekai is like the mumble rap of the light novel genre. They're pandering and catering to a base that understands that language. So I get it. Just how quickly you can pump out a mumble rap song, I'm certain you can easily perform out, or you could easily pump out an isekai light novel. This right here, though, fam, like, I'm not about to sit here and watch no parody anime. You fucking kidding me? Like, I like all 3, 4 of those joints alone by themselves. I think they're really good isekai anime, but fam, and my personal bias comes from Japanese anime comedy escaping me. Like, there's only 2 Japanese anime comedies that I watched that I really, really, really enjoyed. That's The Disastrous World of Psyche K and Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt. I laughed harder at those joints than I probably should have. But the chibi-style animation in this, plus it being set in a high school, like, nah, fam, I'm good. You guys can have that. You guys can hold that. You guys should know now that we've gone to another level of isekai. This is literally an isekai within an isekai. This is isekaiception. All right? Iseconception. Yet I digress. You guys can watch that. We'll have the discussion about it in the Hip Hop and Anime Vibes Facebook group and also in the comment sections of this particular podcast. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if it's worth me watching, or let me know if I was right, which, spoiler alert, I know I'm right. Don't waste your time. Well, I'm not wasting my time on this one, but you guys let me know what it is you think. That's right. Up next on the list, Bungo Stray Dogs, Season 3. Listen, confession, I've heard a lot of great things about Bungo Stray Dogs. And for some reason, I cannot stop saying Bungo Straight Dogs. But I'm going to get it right before the end of this podcast. Sorry about that. Bungo Stray Dogs. I have not yet sat down and watched season 1 and 2 through completion. I'm still stuck on season 1, episode 4, and that's largely my fault. It's not due to a lack of interest. Life be happening. Life indeed be lifing. And the nigga be getting caught up. So I'm going to make a commitment eventually later on this year, or even within the next couple of months, to get caught up on those 2 and to get caught up on season 3 as well. Just to give you guys the rundown, the story centers on individuals who are gifted with supernatural powers and use them for different purposes, including holding a business, solving mysteries, and carrying out missions assigned by the mafia. The story mainly follows the members of the armed detective agencies and their everyday lives. So this, and again, based off the 4 or 5 episodes that I watched, it looks really good. And it held my attention. Some really interesting characters, some really interesting action, some really interesting plot points. And I I don't want to go too far off and say this, but it reminds me of Blood Blockade Battlefront and Beyond, which it's that detective agency feel, right? But I could tell these are both very different animes. I'm looking forward to jumping back into this thing and finishing it. Again, I stopped watching it because life happened. I got distracted and I started watching other shit. But with this thing being on season 3 and with some of the buzz that I'm seeing online, it definitely looks like it's worth finishing. But let me know, are you guys excited about season 3? What are your thoughts on season 3? Should I finish this? Should I make this a priority and start watching it ASAP? Let me know in the comments. Up next on the list is something that I'm really excited to watch. And this episode's coming out a little bit late, but I've already watched the first episode of this. I've seen the trailer to this, and I'm absolutely pumped up for this one. Demon Slayer. Since ancient times, there have been rumors about man-eating demons lurking deep within the woods. Because of this, the local townsfolk never venture outside at night at all. Legend has it that a demon slayer also roams the night and hunts down those bloodthirsty demons. For young Tanjiro, these rumors will soon become his harsh reality. So fam, couple things about this. I'm really invested into this series for a couple reasons. It appears that it's a samurai anime that takes place in like feudal Japan, all right? So I love samurais. I love demons. I love blood. I love guts. I love really good fight scenes. Within the context of anime, like if you combine those things, I'm going to watch at least 3 to 5 episodes of the series off rip. The first episode of this thing, without me giving any spoilers, they do one hell of a job developing the character and you seeing what his life is in day to day. How his life is turned upside down by the tragedy that befalls him, which in my experience watching anime is going to turn him into a hard ass at some point in time. Yet I digress. This anime is being animated by the same animation team that animates the Fate series. You know, Fate Stay Night, Fate Apocrypha, all the other Fate series. Now, while people may debate on if those are good series or not based on the stories, which one is the best one, which one has the best characters, etc., there's one thing that's consistent across the board when it comes to this particular animation studio animating the Fate series. Fight scenes. Over the top fight scenes. Great animation. Over the top animation when it comes to the fight scenes, great choreography in the fight scenes, great angles. Like, listen, I'm locked in, if for nothing else, but for that. Especially with the change that they made to the animation in One Punch Man, which I don't want to jump ahead here. I'm going to hold the horses on that. But I'm looking for some real dope choreographed and real clean and crisp looking fight scenes this season, especially coming off of Mob Psycho 100 last season. I'm looking for something to fill that void week over week of just real dope over the top action mixed with a really good story. So I'm excited for this, but I want to know what you guys think about Demon Slayer as well. Let me know in the comments. Are you guys going to be watching Demon Slayer? Are you looking forward to it? Or is this one that you're going to skip and pass over? We're on the home stretch now, y'all. Kengo no Mogo is up next on the list, which roughly translates to the sage's grandson. A young man who has surely died in an accident is reborn in another world as a baby. Surprise! It's another isekai anime. After he was born in that world, he was picked up by a patriot hero, Sage Merlin Wolford. He was given the name Shin. He was raised as a grandson by Merlin and soaked up all of Merlin's teachings, earning him some shocking new powers. However, when he became 15, his grandfather Merlin said, "Oh shit, I forgot to teach this little nigga common sense." So like any other good parent, Merlin takes Shin to the Dr. Phil show and in front of a live studio audience and national TV and exposes how he's a shitty parent while also exploiting his only child for a check. Okay, that last part I made up, but you guys know what time it is. This is an isekai anime. It seems standard cookie cutter. People are giving it praises. I haven't read the light novel. I haven't read the manga. However, I don't want to judge an anime by its cover, but with it being another isekai anime, I don't necessarily have high hopes for it. The isekai anime that I was watching last season, the time I got reincarnated as a slime, started off really good, but I feel like it peaked too early. And the third act of the series, I found myself just legitimately losing interest. It was like the season started off with a bang and ended with a whimper. This, I'm going to give it respectfully 3 episodes to grab my attention. Going to give it the good old 1, 2, 3, ding, ding, ding. And, if it keeps my attention, I will keep watching after 3 episodes. If it does not, I will abandon it. But if you guys know anything about it or if you guys are pumped up about it, please let me know what your thoughts are in this series in the comments. Last but certainly not least, it's One Punch Man Season 2. After waiting damn near, 3 or 4 years, we finally get One Punch Man Season 2. You guys ready for the synopsis? It's a man who could beat anything with, that's right, you guessed it, my nigga, one punch. It's a comedy/action anime. I would strongly recommend people to watch the first season, especially if you love action and or comedy. It developed a lot of hype around it, and fans have mixed reviews about it switching anime studios. Largely because there's a noticeable difference in the animation style from the first season and the second season. The studio that did the first season was Madhouse, which they're known for pretty much like their fluent animation style. They do a really good job with just making sure everything's clean, and it looks like they pay close attention to detail. JC seems like their focuses are elsewhere when it comes to animation. You notice a very different aesthetic between season 1 and season 2. And I'm not trying to shit on these guys about the animation because I don't feel like the animation is god-awful. It's not like we're watching Pop Team Epic. You know what I mean? It's not like we're watching Ninja Slayer. There's pretty solid animation here. It's just different. And it's taken a little while for me to get used to. I just watched the first episode of season 2. While I don't want to give away too much of the plot, I felt like the first episode for waiting 4 years fell a little flat, but I get it. They're setting up the story. There's going to be epic shit that comes a little bit later on down the line. But the antagonists that they're introducing in this story, it appears to be 3. And that leads me to believe that the entire season, Saitama's gangsta is going to be thoroughly tested. So we already know what our guy can do. We already know if he let them hands go, how he giving it up. But what's going to be entertaining is watching how much he holds back, how much these guys push him to the next level, and what the outcome and the results of these battles may be. I've read slightly ahead in the manga, so I'm not going to provide any further spoilers. But One Punch Man Season 2 is here. I'm excited about it. I don't know how many episodes we're getting this season. Last season, I want to say we got 12 or 13. I'm assuming we're going to get around the same this time. But I'm locked in. I'm going to watch that one through to completion, regardless of if it's trash or not, because I'm just that much invested into the series. But I want to know what your thoughts are. Let me know in the comments. Are you feeling One Punch Man? What do you think about the change between studios? Are you excited about it? Do you not care about it? Do you feel like it was a change for the worst? Please let me know what it is that you guys think in the comments. And that's it, gang. I'm wrapping this thing up. That's a wrap like safe sex and latex. Before you dip out, make sure you guys click the link in the bio or click the link in the profile to join the Hip Hop and Anime Vibes Facebook group that we have. There we host discussions and chop it up about seasonal anime as well as what's going on in hip hop. So this is a place where you can come and chop it up about the culture of both hip hop and anime. If you have something to contribute to the community, whether it be you're watching a seasonal anime or you wanted to discuss an album or a song or a track that you just listened to, feel free to jump in, start the conversation. We'd love to hear from you and chop it up with you. But you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy DTown, repping DK all day, Dirty 330, what's good, a.k.a. Hip Hop and Anime Vibes, a.k.a. Living My Life Like It's Golden Frieza, a.k.a. Meliodas Redding, a.k.a. Goody Mob Psycho 100, a.k.a. My Negro Black and Flaming Ya, a.k.a. The 8th Glow Kage, a.k.a. Katsuki Block Baku Glow, a.k.a. Tuxedo Flask, a.k.a. Sailor Goon, and in the name of the Goon, I'll see you next time. Peace.